What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. It's Tuesday, June 11th. We're approaching 11:30 a.m. FOMO's in the markets, but it was short-lived today. A lot of stocks popped off today. Let's get into it. I hope you are all having a great trading day and a great week so far. So far for me, 2 for 2 on the week. Another small $220 gain this week, playing JAGX and CTRV. Real quick, first 15 minutes of the market open, made my profits and was done for the day, in and out. Bring over the Discord here. Real small. I'm all about consistency. If you know me as a trader, I tried trading JAGX right here, bought it and sold it for break even, and then bought it at 1260, sold it at 13, and then I got in on CTRV at 1230 and got out at $13. Little small 200 shares. If a stock's moving really volatile and showing it likes to move, you don't really need that many shares to make money. You know, you could really hurt yourself, especially with JAGX, the way it was moving with 1,000, 2,000 shares. You know, in a blink of an eye, that thing's up and down $2 at a time. But let's get into it and break this all down. If you guys are interested in the Discord room and you're dedicated traders and wanting to learn as a trader and want to share ideas about the stock market, in the description of this video I have a link to the Discord chat room. Feel free to join it. It's absolutely free. I'm always posting ideas, videos, charts, all kinds of great stuff in there. But all I ask is just obey the rules, and if you're a dedicated trader, you're more than welcome to join. But JAGX getting a big gap up today from $7.50 all the way up to a high pre-market of $12. That's been the theme the past 2 weeks. We've been getting huge gap ups from around $4 or $5 up to $10 and above $10 for a lot of stocks. This is like the 6th stock that has done this the past 2 weeks, like I said. But why did JAGX move so violently from 13 all the way up to 15, all the way down to 12, and then back up to $17? Well, recently JAGX just did a reverse split right here on the 7th, which was 4 days ago. They did a 1 for 70 reverse split. And if you go to Finviz and look at the float on JAGX, it's totally off. Let's look at it. Even on Trade Ideas, they had JAGX's float at, it was like 24 million. But yeah, you could see it right there. Let me get my marker. We'll go with yellow today. JAGX's float on it, right here it says on Finviz, is 24 million. That's wrong. They just did a recent 1 for 70 reverse split. So you gotta, when a stock does a reverse split, how you do it is they did a 1 for 70 reverse split. I believe you divide the float into 70, and that's what you get for the new float. I know it was under a million. So let's see, 24. So 24 million divided by 70, that's a 350,000 share float. Super low float. I'd average it probably at around 500,000 is the new float on this. This is why that stock ripped like it did. Opens up here. Let's zoom in a little bit. This thing was wild. Opens up here at just below 13 at 12.50. Rips all the way up to almost $16. And then look at that big sell-off all the way down to $12. And it even dipped down to 11 right there with that long wick. And then from $12, this ripped all the way back up to $17. Wicked move on this thing. I was waiting for this thing. I knew JAGX was going to have a bounce after this wicked sell-off right here, but I didn't know it was going to be a bounce like that. Jeez, I was looking for JAGX to have a bounce maybe up to this 1350 area right here. And this is where I traded it the first time. I let it sell down, do what it's got to do, sell down, sell down, sell down, and it looked like it was starting to bottom here right at 12. And then that's when it started moving up. I know it's a super, super low float stock. When I see it starts to bottom, that gives me confidence. And I got in at a price of, first I got in at 12.26. You can see it right here. First I got in at 12.26, and then I sold it at 12.26 because it's moving so fast. I don't want to get caught in another, rip down. But then I chased it up a little bit when it had more momentum at 12.60. So 12.26, I got in right here on my first one, and then it was ripping up and ripping down back to $12. I didn't want it to rip back down on me below 12, so I got out and broke even. And then it starts moving back up again to 12.50. That's when I jumped in again, and this thing ripped right up to $13 and sold it for a profit. Look at now, it's starting to come back right now. But then it just kept going and going and going and going. And then after it topped out there, look at that death candle on it. From 17 all the way down to $14, runs into a downside halt, opens back up right here at 13.50, rips all the way down to around 12.50, and then just another bounce on it right back up to $15. And then just got really, really tight all right here, moving back and forth, and then it just fell off right there. It did look like it was trying to form something right here at 12.50 with 13.50 resistance, going back and forth in this little range, and it just couldn't hold up. People lost interest, and from 13 it surged all the way down to 11.50. But then 11.50, look at right where it bounced at. Where it bounced right here after this wicked sell-off right there. So this 11.50 would have been a nice play all the way up to 12.75. And then it just went back and forth until it surged through right there. Made a new low here at 10.50. Back up to 11.25. Now look, it's just starting to break from that 11.25 and moving its way on up to $12. So anything could happen with JAGX, but this is just a pump and dump stock. Be careful with JAGX. Its flow is under 500,000. Anything could happen with this stock. Anything could happen. This thing could very well be at $20 by the end of the day. Is it going to happen? It might. It could go either way. Shorts could get really, really cocky right now and just pile in on the short side because they're thinking it's below VWAP. It's downtrending. It's got a surge there. Well, a surge here. surge down here, surge down there, surge down there, surge down there. You know, they're probably thinking this is trending down, but it is looking like it's starting to reverse from this 1050 area and moving its way on up. But we also had CTRV popping off today as well. A little bit lighter on the volume. There really wasn't volume pushing into the stock. On the day right now, CTRV is only at 2 million in volume. This whole move, all right here, it was just crossing over a million in volume, like around this area right here. So this was a very, very light volume stock. This thing just got momentum from 775 and just kept pushing up and up and up and up and runs into a halt. Runs all the way up and tops out at $15 from 775. That's a nice run. And then rips down into a downside halt, reopens right at the VWAP at $12 and rips right up into another halt at 13. Reopens, pops up to 14.25, and then just surges down into a halt, reopens, surges down into another halt, and then slowly trickles down and bounces right at this 1050 level. And it was in a nice range from 1050 up to the VWAP pretty much at this 1150 area. So this was a nice range play from 1050 up to 1150 for a moment. And then it finally surged right through it. It's fading off on the day though. Real quick, TIGR finally having a nice day after that big sell-off from this 450 area, moving all the way up to almost $5. ANY getting a surge today and then just completely fell apart, going from $1.55 all the way up to a high of 240 and 236. Very nice rebound play on this after it surged up right here. See how it pulled right back to the VWAP, and also look at where it bounced at around $2, that mental area, and from 2 rips all the way up to 235. Nice U shape on it. Comes back down. You see how it surged right through that old support, and then it became resistance right there, and then it finally broke over it and then couldn't hold it, and right back below it she went, and it's just been coming up to it and then just fell off. XYN, real fast pump and dump from $3 all the way up to $4.50. JBLU, this was in play a few days ago, but this gapped up, had a nice surge here from almost $19, surges all the way up to $19.24, back down to 19, and look at that, right there at 19, that mental area. See why I like to focus on mental areas a lot? $19 from 19 gets a nice bounce all the way up to 19.18. Not much range on it, but just giving you an example of these stocks moving around in those ranges. And then it comes right back down to that 19 area, just a little petty pop on it, and then look at that, surges right through the 19 area. You see how these stocks move in stages through these support and resistance areas, and how they surge through these support levels. Not only does the stock surge like that, It's surging because it's taken out everybody's stop orders that have it, that are long on it, that have their stop just below the support. And short sellers are piling into it. MOTS was also gapping up this morning. Low float stock, but it gapped up and it just petered off. But it did have a nice little bounce on it though, but it's really unpredictable to get this bounce from 450 up here, sells all the way down to 360s, and then rips right back up to the VWAP of 440, pulls right back to, what is that, $4 right there, and then grinds back up to 440. Just goes to show you there's plays out there. You don't have to play the hot chick every single day like everybody else. There's other opportunities out there. And then PRVB this morning, I seen this morning they came out, they proposed a public offering worth 5.5 million, but they didn't, they were only preparing it. They didn't execute it. And I think with that press release, it scared off a lot of people. Right here at 5:05 a.m. You see how early they released that? At 5:05 a.m. they proposed a public offering of 5.5 million common stock shares. And then right there, keyword, files for. They filed for it. Doesn't mean that they actually went through with it. They only filed for it. So that pretty much means they could pretty much drop it. They're preparing for it, is what I'm trying to say. They could drop it at any time. So I think that scared away a lot of people. I know after I see something like that, I don't even want to touch the stock. It's just not worth it. But after what it did yesterday, let's see what it did today. There was a couple good opportunities on it. Stock opens up here at around 1550, sells all the way down. Looked like it tried stabilizing here right at around 1450, but then surged all the way down and kept surging down and got a bounce right here at around this 1250 area. Right there. Here. We'll do that. That mental area again, 1250. And from 1250, this got a nice bounce all the way up to 1350. Another mental area. And you see how it did that? From 1350, bounced up to 1350, and then comes all the way back down. And look at that. From 1250, bounced again, all the way back up to 1350, and then some. And it went all the way up to the VWAP, just below $14. So a nice $1.50 bounce right there. Pulled back, fell below the old support here at 1350 to 1330, and then right back up. Made a new high from this high right here. Fell back down, 1350. Now that 1350 wanted to hold as support, but then it blew right through it and right back down to the support area of right here. And then it's just been at the top of its range at this 1350 level right here. But this did form a nice pattern when you zoom out on it. See, one more thing too. A stock will always give you hints. That's why every single candle counts when looking at charts and in the stock market. When this topped out right here at the VWAP and pulled back, this consolidated below old resistance. So I'm looking at this as the market's given me a hint that this is weak. And this surged right back up, and then when it fell back down, it failed. It's all about the little hints that you want to observe. But if we zoom out a little bit on this, just nice range on this from there to there. This is likened to moving ranges currently right now of 50 cents, I would say. And if it does get that momentum, it likes to move to $1. But this was setting up a nice wedge right there. You see how it did that? And then it broke from that 13, ran up almost to 1350, and now it's pulling back. And there's even a nice little wedge right there too. But it's all about, that's why you hear a lot of people say looking at the big picture. You know, I can see a range on it. I can see patterns forming in the range. It really is wild when you just break down, analyze, and look at the chart. That's why I try to say keep your charts clean. That way you can see what's going on. And then also had U1 on watch after yesterday. I got a pop right here. Real random pop on it. No news. But gets a pop from $2 all the way up to $3.25. This has been happening a lot lately. WORX did it, and VISL did it. 3 stocks with this one, U1, had end of the day pops like this and closed at the end of the day strong like that. And then pretty much all of them the next day gapped down and didn't do anything. Also, NBY, really huge just sell off today. Look at that thing. I don't think any offering came out on it, but this thing got halted so many times. You know why this thing got such a big move like it did from 30 cents all the way up to 475? I like to look for keywords and press releases, and I missed this, to be honest. I didn't even pay attention to it because there was just so many things going on. But if we pull up the news feed here on NBY, they're mentioning Amazon. Nova Bay Pharmaceuticals launches their drug direct on Amazon.com. When you hear a keyword like Amazon, someone who is well known, that's going to attract volume to this stock. Most definitely. I've seen it many times in the past when stocks mentioned Oprah, the Kardashians, a huge investor. Not too long ago, a stock teamed up with Amazon with, what was it? It was like Healthy or something. Oh, it was like Good Foods or something. I can't remember what it was, but it exploded huge. And look at this thing, going from a true penny stock all the way up to $4. 30 cents to $4. That's a ridiculous, crazy move right there. Look at that. That's insane. But this thing got halted so many times yesterday. Look at that. All those halts right there. And then all those halts right there. And then today even it got halted a few times to the downside. But people are, why is it selling off? Why am I taking a red trade? Well, take a step back and zoom out on the chart. This stock just ran from 30 cents non-stop, ran all the way up to almost $5. Wouldn't you want to take some profits? So that's exactly what's happening. Let these people take their profits, let it sell off, let it do what it's got to do, and wait for a play in the future. Now that I'm looking at this play, I like this $2 area right here. If it can hold this $2 area, this could be a good $2 dip buy for in the future. But I want this stock to prove to me it has strength. So within the next coming days, this $2 level is going to be a real big level for it. If it doesn't hold this $2 level, the next level is at $1.25. Well, let's break this down and see what it did. You can just see the selling pressure on it all right here on the volume. No pops whatsoever. You can just see it's just a sharp decline all the way down because people are just unloading it, unloading it, unloading it, unloading it, unloading it. And then it starts to catch up, and that's when you get that surge down. And then people start to panic, and it just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. But from it dipped right here at 210 and pops right back up to this 270 level. Now you can see it double topped right there. And now it's been forming lower highs all the way back down to this. It just keeps making lower lows too. See, it was trying to stabilize right there, and then it's ripped down right there, and it's making a lower low right there. So selling is still going on this stock. You can see it all right there and right here. But also look at this on multiple time frames. I like to look at the 15 and 30 minute to get an idea of the picture. Look at that big, that's a lot of volume. Hold on. How much volume is that? That's 6.8 million volume. So 7 million volume in 15 minutes. Yeah, let this pull back. I'm liking the $2 really area for this stock. $2. Yeah, $2. So it's on watch for a mid-candle breakout the next coming days, for sure. I didn't get to look to see what the float was on NBY. Let's take a look real quick. Oh yeah, pretty low float at 7 million. Shares outstanding 19 million. Insider ownership is 26%. Institutionally owned is only 1%. Short the float is 2%. Last time it came out with news. See, that's what brought the volume to it right there, that key word. Triples after their drug is made available on Amazon without prescription. So even go through, write down all those keywords. You always want to look for keywords, like I said, that will attract volume. Keywords like any big corporation, any big investor. cancer, FDA approvals. You want to look for keywords. If a company's receiving any large sum of money or awarded, contract winners, earnings winners, there's all kinds. I have a huge list in my playbook of keywords I like to look out for. And I highly recommend getting a playbook and having a playbook. JAGX still grinding its way back on up. 1150 all the way up to 13 now. Most definitely still on watch as it's moving its way back on up to the VWAP. But I hope you guys are all having a great trading day. Hopefully you guys are green on the week. I think I covered just about everything. A and Y fell apart. Also, real quick, where is it at? Back on Monday, INSY. INSY was in play for a hot second. The chairman, I believe, stepped down like 4 days ago. And look, this is just crazy. Had this big gap down from 4 all the way down to around $1. Fell below $1 and then got a breakout above $1. Ran almost up to almost $2. And then people probably held it and swung it over the weekend. And then come Monday, the company comes out with a press release that they're claiming bankruptcy. And this stock gapped down from Friday, $1.30, all the way down to a low of 40 cents. That's why I don't swing penny stocks. These are pieces of crap companies. I just want to trade them. That's it. I don't want to swing them. It's too nerve-wracking and too much of a headache to swing these penny stocks. If I was to be more of a swing trader, I'd look to swing stocks that are above $10 to $20, because those are kind of a little bit more established as companies. But INSY hit a low after that of 37 cents, and then right at the market open, rips all the way up to almost $1 again, and then sells all the way back down to 50 cents, and then since then it's just fell all the way back off, back down to 38 cents. You know, this probably trapped a lot of bag holders, a lot. So that $1 level is probably going to be really, really, really hard if it ever gets back up to that level to break, because it's got all these people trapped. It's got all these people trapped that chased and bought it. All these people trapped that probably bought the pullback. And these people trapped that tried probably buying it for a morning spike that failed. So 50 cents is going to be a hard level to get through, and $1 probably. Other than that, I think that's about it. WKHS been selling off all day from almost $3 all the way back down to $2.50. Real quick, I'll show you guys the top percentage gainers. And we'll call it a day. So just here on Finviz, JAGX, CTRV, OXBR, TRMD as the top percentage gainers of the day. Other than that, I think after the end of the day, I'm going to go through my percentage gainers and see what else popped up. Always want to be adding stocks to your list. But real quick, SPY, you know, yesterday, all morning, it just surged up and up and up and up and up. And then right afternoon, the Feds came out and said, hey, we're cutting rates. And then we, from 290, had a big sell-off all the way down to 288. 288, this level right here, you see how it puttered all the way down to that level. And then futures were all up again today. And it even broke out a little bit more up to 290, but then since we topped out, it's just been straight down and down. That's a really, really, really steep fall right there. Something had to have just happened. This is when you'll see this is a good example right here. You got the market selling off the way it is right now. This is when you'll have the VIX moving up, because panic is starting to come into the market, and this could have good opportunities on the TVIX. See how the TVIX moved from 21 all the way up to 22 right now and is looking to break out. Even yesterday, when the market sold off with the SPY, look at that spike from 21.50 all the way up to 22.25. Yeah, something had to have just happened in the market of why it's selling off. But it's in a free fall right now. If you connect the dots right on it, that's a really, really steep trend right there going down. Really, really big. Look at that. See how fast it can all change in a blink of an eye? Everything's all good. Everybody's having a good time. Market's approaching all-time highs again. And then boom, just a slap in the face, and then down it goes. Like that. But that's going to wrap it up for this recap, guys. It's already a little bit long enough. I hope you guys had a great trading day. Hopefully you guys took advantage of the FOMO in the markets today. JAGX, CRTV, great moves today. See you guys all tomorrow. Till then, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study as always. All right, later everyone.